As Bitcoin continues to chop around, a whale just closed his short position at a $2 million loss. He also just opened a $90 million long. In today's video, we'll be talking about exactly this, going over the most recent boring Bitcoin price action ahead of the weekend, and of course, going over some important news. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Before we get into the Bitcoin chart, you can see here that an insider instantly just closed his Bitcoin short and lost $2 million, and he now opened up a $90 million Bitcoin long right ahead of the Fed balance sheet release. All eyes on this insider. Now, a lot of people are actually speculating that this insider could be Barron Trump, but no one really knows. In regards to the Fed balance sheet, you can see that they're about to reveal it in just a few hours from now, but you have to remember that we are still in quantitative tightening. So we should be expecting that this $6.56 trillion number gets reduced. That's all there is to say about that. So I'm not sure why they're making this news, but we can see that some whales, like the one we just discussed, have been closing their short positions and going long. Now, what does this mean for Bitcoin? Right now, Bitcoin is actually just below $92,000. We're starting to get some pretty decent price action here. I like what I'm seeing. Obviously, because I entered at much lower levels, my average entry now is just below $83,000 on my most recent Bitcoin long. And I hate to use this term, but we are absolutely printing. You can see here that I secured just under $200,000 in profit, and right now my unrealized gain is almost back at $200,000. This is my biggest trade of the year, as I've been sharing with you over the past few days. And as I mentioned this, please let me know in the comments section down below if you like it when I show my trades transparently like this, because I have some mixed feedback. Some of you are saying that you think I'm simply showing off, while others really do appreciate the transparency. I came on the channel about a week ago saying that I lost $25,000 trying to catch the knife on Bitcoin. However, I did successfully catch it this time around, and this is one of my best trades of the year. You can also see that I entered an Ethereum long, which I discussed in my previous video. All of this was shared in my premium group. Reminder, if you want to join, that's the first link in my description down below. But the point is, I do think that if Bitcoin can consolidate here, Ethereum will likely get a pretty big move to the upside. Now, we need to see how Bitcoin reacts if we are to approach the 93.5K level. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that is the yearly open. Now, we've been talking about this time and time again. This is no surprise if you've been tuning into my videos every single day. But for Bitcoin to really set some confirmation that we're going to go ahead and target $98,000, for example, we have to reclaim the yearly open. Until then, it is safe to assume that these could just be some bearish retests. Let's see how the price action develops. Right now, you can see that this previous range, we managed to break back above that value area low, which is exactly what I was looking for to trigger that long, entered the long, and we got a pretty significant move from the lows, from $80,500 all the way up to where we are today, just below $92,000. This is how you should be operating in this market. Actively trading it. When you find these kinds of opportunities, it's pretty simple. You can make some profits, and then you can roll those profits into Bitcoin near the bear market bottoms. That is my own personal strategy, and I will be guiding you through it in the bear market lows. So, what do I think could be happening next for Bitcoin? Because I feel as if I'm simply just repeating myself. First and foremost, we need to reclaim the yearly open if we are to see more upside. On the shorter time frames, a lot of people may say that, hey, this is a bull flag and we're essentially just consolidating, and then we will break above 93.5K all the way up to this 98K region. And while I do think that this can play out, please remember to not miss the forest for the trees. We are still very much in a downtrend. Now, as soon as we start flipping the yearly open, that could be a pivotal zone for Bitcoin to go ahead and move much higher. In my opinion, the relief rally will likely take us above $100,000. I've been pretty vocal about this over the past few weeks as Bitcoin was dumping. I also wanted to go over the fact that from the highs, we have dropped essentially 36%. So, is the structure still intact? Because there's a lot of conflicting views here. First and foremost, we had these SFPs on the monthly time frame, and it did make sense to exercise a little bit of caution. We moved significantly lower. However, a lot of people are still discussing the fact that so long as we hold above $74,000, Bitcoin can still get a big aggressive move to the upside. I'm curious what you think. Leave your comments down below, and I will be getting back to every single one of you. But I just think it's wise to remember the trend. We have been in a downtrend for quite a few weeks now. On the shorter time frames, my base case is that we will likely get another little move up, and then we'll have to assess what happens at that yearly open level. Now, I also wanted to talk about the liquidity, because you can see there is tons of liquidity built to the upside. This is the 2-week map, and you can see that shorts keep on piling in, although we cannot ignore the fact that some longs are trying to chase this. This is the beauty with entering on a capitulation wick, because you can see that the entry right below $83,000 is essentially safe. There is not that much liquidity here. That being said, my stops are still at break even, simply because if we do manage to roll over, I am not willing to lose any more capital. And the bears on the timeline are getting louder and louder. You can see here that this guy has been pretty vocal about maintaining his Bitcoin short. Very comfortable in my short. At maximum, all I'm seeing is 93.1 to 93.5K, the intersection of these resistances before we tumble back down. Let's see what happens. I wanted to also bring this to your attention. On the 1-week time frame, Bitcoin is actually flirting with quite a significant level. Now that level is just below $91,000. If we start to get acceptance back above this crucial weekly support level, this could be the relief rally that takes us to $100,000 and beyond. And right now, as I'm recording this video, you can see that we're actually kind of exploding to the upside here. We finally are breaking out of this range. This is absolutely phenomenal to cover this during my video. But this is the breakout. Let's see if we can get confirmation to target that yearly open. But right now, the trades that I shared in my premium group are doing absolutely fantastic, and I'm perfectly content with holding on to them as Bitcoin tags that yearly open. And in terms of the news, there's only really one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. You're probably already aware of it. That is that the futures and options trading on the CME halted after cooling failure shuts down Globex, EBS markets, and BMD markets. And the last thing here, let's see if in the upcoming week, as we head into the end of quantitative tightening, the Coinbase premium can start to reverse to the upside. Now, that's basically all I wanted to cover in today's very quick video. Not much has changed. Bitcoin is flirting with this 92K level, but honestly, not much has been happening over the past 24 hours. I am positioned accordingly. I think that if Bitcoin continues to chop around and we get the confirmation that, okay, we're going to be staying above $90,000, Ethereum likely has a very, very strong chance to outperform in these kinds of market conditions. That's why I went long on ETH, and that's also why I shared it in my premium group. If you want quicker real-time updates, remember you do have that first link in the description down below. This brings you to my free premium group. You DM me the word premium, and I'd be happy to onboard you into that group. This is where I essentially share voice messages, spot buys, leverage trades, the whole shebang. Now, I also need to remind you that I am not a financial advisor. This is a pretty big disclaimer that I'd like you to read if you haven't already. It's in the descriptions down below. But basically, I'm just a guy on the internet sharing his own trades and his own crypto market analysis. And that sums up today's video. Not much has changed for Bitcoin. We're essentially just chopping around. Bears are getting quite vocal, but I still think we could get a little bit of a move to the upside here before potentially getting rejected. Let's see what the price action gives us. At this point in time, if Bitcoin can consolidate, I do believe that Ethereum will likely see a little bit of outperformance. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.